Get ready, it's time for Motorsports Madness, powered by the staff at Race Chaser Online. Your motorsports, your way, every day. And now, here's your host, Jacob Seelman.
That would be me.
Okay. Are you sure?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm sure. It's me, I promise.
All
and
right.
that also is where I say, hi, guys, and welcome to another 2 hours of fun, frivolity.
over there,
And what?
just so you know.
One of the there's too many cameras in here, okay? I'm confused. We call this madness for a reason. It makes me mad.
It started already.
Yeah, it has. Jacob Seelman, Tom Baker, and some Sam Mayer kid that I feel like we said his name a few times earlier today. Tom, why so ever would that be?
Well, because there was a major announcement this morning.
There was, and we're going to talk about it on this here edition of Motorsports Madness, aren't we?
Sam is now a driver with an edge.
Yes, as in Driver's Edge Development, which is the new Chevrolet/Junior Motorsports/GMS Racing driver development program that was announced this morning at the NASCAR Hall of Fame that includes 6 drivers, of which Sam is one.
And
I think I have that right.
Yep, and actually it's a great group of drivers that they've got for this, and 3 of them are members of the Raceface Brand Development Program. And we have Rod Wortham here, and we have Adam Lemke here. Adam will be joining us here in a little while, also a part of the Driver's Edge program. It's really I'm really optimistic about what this program can do for these kids, because most of it is based off the track rather than on the track. But, of course, with all of the knowledge that you've got from all of the people involved, it's bound to bleed into their performance on the track as well.
Absolutely, and that was one of the big things that Chevy drove home earlier today, was the focus on the people and what they hope to bring to the drivers that are involved in the program, and we can certainly talk more about that as the show goes on. Obviously, since he's in the chair to my right, my far right, Sam's going to be the first driver that we're going to talk to about the program. We also have Adam Lemke in the building, who is going to be joining us later on in the program, and there were just so many little parts and pieces to all of this that I'm excited to dig into a little bit and break down and all that fun stuff. But before we do all of that, we do have a little business to go ahead and take care of, get out of the way. So we're going to do that first, and when we come back, we're going to talk to Sam about his thoughts on Driver's Edge development and what it means to be a part of this new program for 2019. This is Motorsports Madness, and we'll be back in just a moment.
You own a performance car and you know how to drive, but you want to learn real performance driving. Well, Bunky, get that car off the street and onto the track. Summit Point Motorsports Park, the Mid-Atlantic's premier road racing facility, located just over an hour from D.C. in nearby Summit Point, West Virginia, is the place to go. And you'll find that Friday at the Track is going to give you what you need. For less than a monthly car payment, you can attend this regularly scheduled one-day instructional event in your street car on one of Summit Point's 3 world-class road racing circuits. You'll receive classroom instruction, skid pad instruction in their cars, including front and rear skid control, and 4 20-minute in-your-car instructional sessions from a professional instructor. Have fun, go fast, and really learn how to drive. Call 304-725-8444 for class schedules and details. That's 304-725-8444. Friday at the Track at Summit Point Motorsports Park.
Green light. Hey girl, school zone. I'm getting hungry. Car changing lanes. You want to meet me for pizza? Stop sign. Intersection clear. Yeah, street. Pizza sounds good. Ballin Street? Girlin Street!
It's hard to concentrate on 2 things at once, like texting and driving. Stop the text, stop the wrecks. How will you stop texting and driving? Tell us at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Here's an important message from RAD and this station.
Hi, this is Bob Sheehan from Blues Traveler for RAD, Recording Artists Against Drunk Driving. I like to party just as much as the next guy, maybe even more. But the one thing I won't do after I've had a few is get in the car and drive. Don't blow it. Always choose a designated driver. Remember, music lives, and so should you.
Automotive technicians and auto service trainees, how would you like to work at the beach and perform for one of the best car care centers in the nation? Louis Meineke is now looking for skilled automotive technicians to join their award-winning team. If you're a gearhead that knows his or her stuff, or a young up-and-comer that has the motivation and drive to succeed, then you need to make this call today. 302-827-2054. Lewis Meineke Car Care Center, located in beautiful Lewis, Delaware, offers a highly competitive compensation plan, great benefits, a flexible schedule, and did we mention that you're going to be working at the beach? Plus, there's a signing bonus for the right candidates. Technicians must be ASE certified and have a minimum of 6 years experience. Beginners advance at your own pace in one of several entry-level positions. But whatever you do, don't wait. These jobs will go fast. Call Tim at 302-827-2054. That's 302-827-2054. Lewis Meineke Car Care Center. Rev up your career.
Hi, I'm Noah Gregson, and you're listening to Motorsports Madness on PMN, the Performance Motorsports Network.
Okay, so in all fairness, I legitimately did not plan that. I surprised myself when Noah's voice came on, but it's appropriate, nonetheless, because Noah Gregson is one of the 6 drivers that is part of the new Chevrolet driver development program that is named Driver's Edge Development, which, in fairness, Tom, that's the one thing I didn't ask Chevy, is where they came up with the name earlier today.
Well,
but
I don't know, but it's a good one. Whoever came up with it.
It's catchy.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, we are talking about Driver's Edge Development on Race Chaser Radio's Motorsports Madness, powered by mycomputercareer.edu, with one of the drivers in said program, Sam Mayer, who is at the table with us right now. And I think this is the part where we say congratulations, first off. And you have not stopped smiling since 10 a.m. this morning. Granted, those of us that know that you almost never stop smiling. But how exciting is a day like this for somebody who's in the position you're in?
Well, I mean, heck, it's probably one of the best days of my career so far, being involved in such an amazing development program with such amazing teams like Junior Motorsports and GMS. It's an amazing feeling.
What was your reaction when the program came together and it was a reality that you were going to be a part of it? I mean, was it shock, surprise, excitement, all of the above?
So, I mean, the program itself has been talked about for about 11 months, so it was a long time coming. And I was one of the first drivers to be like, hey, we could be a part of this, and this could be really big for us. And really, as the program got bigger and more teams got involved and everything, it really came to me as like, oh my gosh, this is going to be a big thing, and it's going to help me a ton. Like, I'm driving for GMS this year. Like, what? It's crazy. It's such a good team, and everyone on the team is just insane. They're so loyal, and they have that fire to win, so I think we're going to win a bunch this year with them.
I know you're excited about that. Obviously, you get a whole bunch of different sides to this, not just with the development program, but you've got K&N races, you've got ARCA races, you've got truck races, you've got potentially some late model races still in the JRM program. I mean, this is like the best of all worlds, it feels like, for you.
Yeah, I'm in honestly the perfect situation. Like, the cards fell in the perfect place for me to snatch them up and get the big money. But overall, it's just insane. I mean, I'm driving full-time K&N, part-time ARCA, and when I turn 16, I'll be driving trucks. And, I mean, my name's getting out there for sure with this whole program getting out there, so I'm really excited to see what this year has in store.
You had some experience last year in the K&N series and some in ARCA. Particularly the road courses, obviously you looked very comfortable, but that's kind of your background. This year you've got a good mix between the series, K&N, ARCA, and trucks. What are you most looking forward to in terms of maybe a track or some tracks that you haven't raced at yet?
Honestly, I'm really excited for Salem in the ARCA series.
That's a great track.
I've been looking at videos pretty much nonstop about that place, and it looks so different from what I've seen prior, and that and Toledo and all those types of races that are racetracks that are kind of worn down and that are rough, and like I like those kinds of places where you really have to drive the crap out of it and get up after it and do all that stuff. So, I mean, I'm really excited for that and just everything about the ARCA series in general.
You haven't necessarily had to think about points as much up until this last year or so. I know you got a little bit of experience with that in the Cars Tour situation that you were in, but is it exciting or pressure or a little bit of both that you're going to be focusing on the K&N East Championship this year?
I honestly don't have any doubt that we're going to go out and lose this championship in the K&N Series. I think we're going to go out there and we're going to win a lot of races, and we're going to wrap up that championship. I have a lot of confidence in the team. They're working really hard over at the GMS shop in Statesville, and they're putting all they have into it, and I have no doubt in my mind that we're going to be really competitive and going out for that championship.
So, Tom, basically what I hear him saying is we're going to win and the points are going to take care of itself.
Well, and I love that confidence. It really is. I don't feel like it's cockiness. I feel like it's honestly just Sam being very comfortable. Yeah, having a lot of faith in the team around him. And what's interesting is this is a first-year effort for GMS in the K&N Pro E Series, and a little bit of an interesting season. I feel like it's kind of a transitional one in the series because, of course, MDM Motorsports is gone.
And this is really the last year before we see what the new look K&N Pro Series will be in 2020 because of some of the changes coming with NASCAR's acquisition of ARCA.
It would be, I don't want to say, though, that it's a lame duck year for the series, because
not at all.
I feel like this actually could be a year where the series is much more competitive. You don't have that big behemoth, except
I believe it.
And I don't even know how many cars David Gilliland is putting into the series this year compared to last. I think maybe one or two.
I want to say there's one for sure with the potential for a second one.
Yeah, so I mean, I feel like this could be a year that we could see a little bit more parity and a few more teams and drivers getting a chance to win some races. Rev Racing, I'm sure, will be good this year. They pared down a little bit, so and obviously GMS is not going to put a car on the track that can't win.
Not at all.
And I have 100% faith in Sam to go out and win races. So
I think we've seen
I don't think
that,
his belief that they can win the championship is far-fetched at all.
No, not at all. I want to turn back to the driver's edge piece of this for a couple of minutes, because I asked a couple of the older guys this earlier, but haven't had a chance to ask you yet. They laid out what the program is designed to do. What are you hoping to get out of it this year?
Well, I'm going to be working with Josh Wise. That's part of the agreement, is I get to work with him with the physical, mental, and just overall health part of the sport, which, I mean, we're full-blown athletes in this sport, and we have to keep our bodies healthy and take care of them. And he'll do whatever he can to keep me good and keep me healthy, and my endurance and all that. But really, I just, getting out of it, I want to be the best I can be, and the team already is the best it can be. It's an amazing team, GMS and Junior Motorsports too. Last year, running their late model, it was a great season overall, and we had a couple ups and downs, but it was definitely more ups. And just overall, really, I'm just want to go out and win. I said this earlier over at the press conference, but my one goal for this year is to go out and win races.
Is it exciting for you to be able to have a situation where you can focus on some of those off-track skill sets maybe more than you've had in the past?
Josh Wise will definitely help that, of course. In the past, I really haven't worried about that. I didn't think I'd go at the summer shootout, I'd go out and get a box of Bojangles, and then I'd come back to the garage and, all right, my heat race is up. All right, let's go.
Yeah, that's the power meal of champions right there.
That's
at
right.
The shootout, Bojangles, yeah.
Winning is the focus, obviously, but working with an organization like GMS, Mike Beam, listening to him earlier and hearing his excitement for everything that's going on right now, what's it mean to you to be a part of that and to work with that group of guys?
Everyone over at GMS is just awesome. Their personalities there really stick out, and I think that's what really helps GMS be so awesome and just a good team over in general. Just because everyone cares about the sport so much, and they have that fire to win. After having kind of a good season last year overall, I think, in the Truck Series, and having it not end how they wanted it, I think that little extra boost of just fire, we got to go get this year, is going to help a lot.
You've been very lucky, Sam, as far as the people that you've had around you, and we're going to have to step aside here for a minute, but I want you to think about kind of the people that you've worked with over the past couple of years, and I want to follow up with a question about that when we come back from the break.
Yes, we will, and I'm glad that Tom looked at the clock and realized where we were before I started getting projectiles.
I do pay attention.
Yeah, coming at me from either Chris or Randy or both, because they kind of like us to keep it tight and compact.
That's how it's supposed to be done.
We're going to keep Sam in the chair for another break, and Tom will get to follow up with him when we come back. So don't go anywhere if you're just settling in. Stay tuned, and we'll have more of Race Chaser Radio's Motorsports Madness, powered by My Computer Career, coming up in just a couple of minutes.
Do you love the sound of high-revving motors and the smell of burning rubber? Do you want to get your car sideways right at the ragged edge of control? If you've always wanted to try drifting or learn to improve your drifting skills, Summit Point Motorsports Park, the Mid-Atlantic's premier motorsports facility, has the expert instructors and the specialized track to teach you how to drift and the skills necessary to drift competitively. From skid pad to open sessions, Summit Point Motorsports Park has the safe and open environment that allows drifters of all skill levels, new to intermediate, to get sideways and smoking. With a focus on safety and the skill set necessary to drift competitively, Summit Point Motorsports Park's Drift Nirvana is just the thing for you. Call for your reservation today, 304-725-8444. Or for more information, go online, summitpoint-raceway.com, or you can email them at office@bsrinc.com. Drift Nirvana, getting you sideways the right way.
HMS Motorsport is the leader in motorsport safety. HMS serves a majority of Monster Energy NASCAR Cup, Xfinity, Camping World Truck, IndyCar, and IMSA WeatherTech teams, as well as countless SCCA and club-level racers and driving enthusiasts throughout North America. Featuring world-renowned brands like Schuberth helmets, Schroep belts, Adidas suits and shoes, Lifeline fire systems, and even Racecom radio kits, HMS has the right product for your type of racing and your budget. Their representatives are experts on only one thing, making your track driving as safe as possible. With locations in Mooresville, North Carolina, and Danvers, Massachusetts, the HMS staff is always ready to take the time to help you find the right product for your safety needs. Don't settle for second when it comes to motorsport safety. Stop in to HMS Motorsport. Visit them on their website at hmsmotorsport.com or send them a message on Facebook and tell them the folks from PMN Radio sent you.
What an awesome game. What's up with your car? I don't know. It won't start. How are we getting home? Chill. My parents signed me up for the roadside assistance from Lewis Meineke. It was free with my oil change. They'd come and get the car started or get us home and tow the car to the shop.
Good to know. With my driving, my parents never know what to expect.
When you join the Meineke Car Care Club with a $35 preferred service, you get 4 free months of roadside assistance, including tire change, battery jump, lockout service, towing, and more. Contact Lewis Meineke, located on Route 1, or call 827-2054.
When do you think of a plumber? Like most people, even if it's an emergency, you can be confident about who will arrive to help you. For quality and reliability, count on someone you can trust. Call on the plumbing services of Hague Quality Water of Maryland. Plumbing doesn't have to be an emergency. We handle all kinds of preventative maintenance too. Hague Quality Water of Maryland is family-owned here in Annapolis since 1993. For a refreshing choice, call us at 888-84-WATER or visit us online.
COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, is a lung disease that robs people of their ability to breathe. As many as 24 million Americans suffer from COPD, also known as chronic bronchitis or emphysema, and half of them don't know they have the disease. If you or someone you love is over 35 and has smoked more than 100 cigarettes in their lifetime, visit driveforcopd.org and take the screener, then take that to your doctor. I'm Jeff Stoltz, and I drive for COPD.
Hi, I'm Brandon McReynolds, and you're listening to Race Talk on the Performance Motorsports Network. Now back to the show.
So Tom's banging his head, and that brings the question.
Metallica, that's what
I
you
know.
do.
So that begs the question, because we just taped Sam Mayer's driver drop before the show started. What music should we put with Sam?
I don't know. Sam, what music should we put with?
I would see that was kind of needling to see if there's anybody you listen to at all.
Not really.
Not really?
Too focused on racing.
Well, he's got a good answer. Anyway.
That's a good answer.
Welcome back, Race Chaser Radio's Motorsports Madness. Jacob Seelman, Tom Baker, Sam Mayer at the table right now as we continue to break down Driver's Edge Development, which is the brand new Chevrolet driver development pipeline that was announced earlier today at the NASCAR Hall of Fame. And I believe before the break, and well, the clock cutting Tom off, Tom had a question that he was going to ask Sam.
Well, I wanted to just give Sam a chance over the break to kind of think about this a little bit, but you've had so many positive influences already in the sport that have been a part of what your career has been to date. I mean, just looking at people like Dale Jr. and Lauren Ranier, and now with this new Driver's Edge, you not only still have those two kind of in the orbit, so to speak, but at GMS you get people like Mike Beam and all of the drivers that are there. What's it been like for you to be able to get advice from drivers like Dale Jr.? What is it like to deal with Dale as one of his drivers in the late model? And, talk about some of the other influences that have helped you get to this point.
Well, Dale Jr., I mean, he's Dale Jr., so he'll
Yes,
talk
he
your
is.
ear off, that's for sure.
He is definitely Dale Jr.
He'll talk about anything. I mean, you go up to him and he'll say, "Oh, hey," like he knows you. Like it's just like, "Oh, okay, hi, you're famous."
Well, was that intimidating the first time?
The first time I met him, I was like, "Oh my gosh, wow!" but now he's just like, "Oh, hey, how's it going?" I'm like,
but that's Junior, right?
That's
he's just
so
like
Junior.
He's your buddy.
He is.
He's just a cool dude.
Like that's so true.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'll go up to him and I'll say like, "Hey, how's it going?" And he'll just start talking about something random, like the 24 coming up or something like that, Myrtle Beach. He'll just talk your ear off, and it's so fun talking with him. And really, he'll give you any advice you need. Like I asked him the other week, "What's it like being a Cup driver? Like, what's your responsibilities like? What's your week look like? Do you actually have a life outside of Cup racing when you're full time?"
What was his answer?
And he said, "I mean, yeah, kinda."
I can hear him saying that too.
Yeah. And it's just it was an awesome conversation because he started with that and then he went on for another 20 minutes about. It just went on and on and on. It was so awesome.
That's really what's awesome for you, because that's the kind of information that you want to know, right? Like, if I am lucky enough here to get what I want and achieve my dream, I want to know what to expect from the lifestyle, from, what does my week look like, so you can start preparing for that, right?
Yeah, like, he literally said, I can go and ask him whatever I needed. Like, if I needed a favor, he would be there and do the best he can for me. And just asking those little questions is really all I need from him, because he's been in that experience before and he knows what he's talking about.
Mm-hmm. So when you look at this, obviously you're one of 6 drivers that was announced earlier today as part of Driver's Edge. And I know you've gotten a chance to interact with some of the other drivers that are in the program. What's that group been like? You're actually the youngest driver in the program, I think, aren't you?
Yeah.
So,
yes.
I mean, what's that interaction been like? It seems like a really cool group that they've assembled.
Yeah, everyone has a different personality. I mean, you got Zane, and he's just Zane over there being Zane, and he's just like, he's chilling, and he's like
so Zane.
Sadi, and he's really cool. I like Zane a lot, and he's been really helpful. And when we went and tested at Iowa, he went and actually helped out with the car setup, like just making sure everything is right so the cars feel right, so I don't get wrong information when I'm out there. But I mean, and then you got Sheldon, and he's kind of the same, but he's just like, he's Sheldon. I mean, what else can he say? Like Sheldon Creed, he's out there just having a good time, And just everyone there is just everyone's so excited, and just the hype behind this whole deal is just. Mm-hmm. It just gives it that extra boost to be the best it can be.
I forget, actually, until he just brought it up, that with his ARCA time with MDM, he would have actually been teammates with Zane and Sheldon earlier this year. So that's what half of Driver's Edge that was teammates at one point last year.
Yep. And they weren't driving Chevys.
No, they weren't at
But
the
they
time,
are now.
but they are now.
They are
That
now.
is correct.
We got that bow tie going.
Bow tie.
Yes.
Yep, that's right.
Bow tie brigade, and bringing new meaning to the term bow tie brigade, as Chevy coined it a while back. And not to turn the discussion too far away from Sam for a minute, but I think it warrants pointing out while he's sitting in that chair how big the experience of the older drivers in the program, like a Noah Gragson or a John Hunter Nemechek, is going to be for him, for Adam Lemke, you know, the younger guys who are just coming in and starting to try and figure out their place in the sport.
Oh, for sure. I mean, to have that kind of influence, to have that kind of experience to draw from, it is awesome. Not to mention, you know, for them, a driver, you know, coming over to GMS this year for the first time, you're defending Truck Series champion Brett Moffitt.
Oh, there is that
and
too.
to have Brett's influence and his, you know, he can certainly teach you how to grow a mustache.
That's for sure. I know I can't right now. That's a fact.
I was going to say, Sam's not there yet. Sam might not be there for a while.
You know, but you're right. I mean, you're absolutely right, and that's what I was kind of getting at earlier. You are so lucky to be able to be in a situation where you have such a pool of knowledge to draw from that can only help you to get better, faster, and shorten the learning curve, right?
Absolutely. I mean, everyone on the program is in it for each other. I mean, we're all technically teammates, I would say, like GMS and Junior Motorsports. So, I mean, everyone's there, and everyone's enjoying it. Like, right now, it's just fun, and then when you get to the racetrack, yeah, we're all friends, and then we get on the racetrack, and it's all right, let's go.
Yep. Well, and that's, you know, and it's always interesting to watch teammates compete against each other, and especially, you know, at some of the lower levels, because you're teammates, but you're drivers. So, you know, I'm not going to put you in the fence, and I'm probably not going to spin you, but I might have to move you.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like Noah Gragson said it best earlier. He said, you know, yeah, we're teammates. Yeah, we're probably best friends off the racetrack, but I'm here for me. This is my time to shine. Like, we're going to go out and win this thing, and I mean, I'm not going to wreck you, of course. I'm not going to try to do anything to be just absolutely rude, but I'm going to do what I can to win. Like, whether it's like just giving you a little bump to get you out of the way so we can be side by side battling each other, or if it's just passing you clean. I mean, I'm going to do whatever I can to go out and win.
I feel like that's the mentality that all of you have to have, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, if you literally interview any driver in the garage, they're going to say, yeah, I want to win. Like, why wouldn't I want to win? Well, if you think about it, like, yeah, my teammate's in front of me, so I guess I'm just going to let him go. I mean, I don't really think that's fair. Because
ask Kyle Busch how that one works out.
I'm not going to talk to him about that. That's not my problem.
That's yeah, it's always interesting, but again, just it's going to be a great program for you, and I'm sure you got to be excited about it. You know, where do things start off for you this year?
Well, I mean, we're going to go full-time K&N racing this year, and that starts in New Smyrna. So
that'll be a couple weeks.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we're going to do the full-time Speed Weeks deal. So with the super late model over at New Smyrna. So I'm really excited for that deal. We're going to run with Chris Wimmer Motorsports, and honestly, I'm so excited.
There's a bit of there's a bit of a pedigree. We know what Wimmer's done with Harrison Burton.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's for sure. I got a little bit of pressure behind that driving for Wimmer, but I think it's gonna be a fun week overall.
Just go do what Sam does. You'll be fine.
Have you
saw
had
that
a chance,
last year.
Have you had a chance to talk to Chris at all yet going into this?
Yeah, I have a little bit. Yeah, we got the car all set up, ready to go. We're got the seat all set and just ready to go out and win.
What's the impression of working with Chris? I mean, we know he's a heck of a crew chief.
That's a fact. he's mind-boggling. Just all the stuff he knows. What, like, looking at the car on the racetrack, he's like, all right, he's loose. All right, we need to change this, this, and that. And I would come in, I tell him exactly what he thought. And it's just, that's what I'm expecting from him, and that's probably what I'm gonna get. Like, he's just the best of the best out there.
Have you run Smyrna yet? I guess you did last year because you were at the World Series, weren't you?
Yeah, we ran the Speed Weeks deal.
Not only did he run, he missed winning the championship by that much.
Oh,
I've had a lot go on. Don't bring that up. I've had a lot going on. Forgive me for my brain not remembering that quite so quickly. Yeah, smack me later. Before we let you go, Sam,
I'm supposed to be the
thank
one with
yous,
the
shout outs.
brain
Who do you need to give a call to for everything that's gotten you to this point?
Man, I gotta thank GMS and Junior Motorsports and the whole Chevy deal and Driver's Edge Development. I mean, heck, I wouldn't be where I am without those guys over there. So, I mean, just everything about those guys and just I'm losing words because of how thankful I am. It's awesome. And, man, I got to thank my dad and I got to thank God,
I was wondering if you're
for
going to get
everything
there.
he's done
Yes,
for me.
he was getting there. Grab the Sharpie real quick, Sam. We got to have you sign the
Wall of Fame.
Wall of
Sam
Fame. Here we
Mayer
go.
signing the Wall of Fame. Here we go. For those of you who are listening to this show, it's behind us in the studio, and there he is.
Not
the Wall
bad.
of Fame. Sam is, and that's a nice signature.
I was going to say, we can read Sam's.
Yeah.
There's a couple that you have to
Can't
kind
even
of
read.
look at and double check here. But
All right. Well, Sam, congratulations on everything you've accomplished to this point. You did a great job tonight, and we look forward to having you back in often through the season.
Awesome.
All right, that's Sam Mayer, and with that, we're going to step aside. There is much more of Race Chaser Radio's Motorsports Madness still to come, so stick around. Adam Lemke's waiting in the wings, and we'll be back with more of the show powered by My Computer Career right after this.
Everywhere you go, you hear it, and you see it. It's coming at you through your phone, your tablet, and your computer. It's broadcast from your favorite radio station, TV networks, and cable companies. It's in the stadiums, the arenas, the ballparks. It screams for your attention at the mall. It's interactive on Main Street. It's even coming at you from the gas pump at the nearby convenience store. What is it? It's digital content. It's digital content. It's digital content. Somebody has to create it. Somebody has to manage it. So whether your dream is to write it, design it, create it, call it, produce it, voice it, host it, light it, shoot it, switch it, record it, color correct it, edit it, code it, repurpose it, tweet it, blog it, post it, compress it, upload it, replay it, or make sure it gets to where it's got to go when it's got to get there in the format it's got to be in, you need to attend
Carolina School of Broadcasting.
The skills you will learn, the experience you will get, and the connections you will make at Carolina School of Broadcasting will open the doors to the career you want in digital content creation and digital content management. Call or come by today. Click csbradiotv.edu.
Parents, your son or daughter has had their license for a while now, but you want to make sure they're prepared for any situation they may face on the road. High school driver's ed doesn't teach them to drive defensively. They need to be prepared for any highway emergency. For less than a month's insurance, and a whole lot less, BSR instructors at Summit Point Motorsports Park in nearby Summit Point, West Virginia, will teach your son or daughter how to respond instantly and positively to unexpected situations on the road. BSR's specialized accident avoidance training teaches swerve to avoid maneuvers at highway speed, ocular driving, which focuses driving attention on ways to avoid accidents, vehicle dynamics and feedback, skid control and skid recovery, threshold braking on straights and progressive braking on curves, and off-road recovery techniques. This is stuff driver's ed simply doesn't teach. So call BSR today, 304-725-8444. Give your kid the skill set needed to drive safely and responsibly on the highway. That's 304-725-8444.
This is a test to find out if you know it all when it comes to children. Name one of the leading killers of U.S. children age 1 to 13. What's the best way to protect children in a car crash? At what age and size should a child start using a booster seat?
Don't assume you know it all when it comes to car seats for your child. Go to safercar.gov/the-right-seat and know for sure. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
I'm Kaz Gralla, and you're listening to Race Talk on the Performance Motorsports Network.
I feel like we all should holla.
Ha!
Wait,
or something.
We hear
right?
that Kaz Gralla, yeah.
Well,
give him a holla.
Kaz would be hollering if he was running the Rolex this weekend.
Well, he might be hollering inside the car, depending on what's going on in the track around him.
But he's not running it, so he can't holla in the car. Anyway, we have produced an Allie Boulay.
Yes. Sorry.
Hi, Allie. Traffic sucks, doesn't it?
Yes. Coming from Charlotte and the NASCAR building is no fun.
No, it's not. But she's here now. That's all that matters.
That's exactly right. If that's okay.
What?
I brought water.
Oh,
She
that's
brought
acceptable.
Water. Yeah, it's acceptable. Water's okay.
Yes.
We have Adam Lemke over here.
I was getting there. Welcome
We
back.
have a Lemke.
Welcome back to Race Chaser Radio's Motorsports Madness. I'll get control of this eventually. Jacob Seelman, Tom Baker, the now
That's what he
materialized Allie Boulay. And this kid, Adam Lemke, joins us now as the second driver of the day from Driver's Edge Development, and maybe the name that up until today not a lot of people knew. So before we dig into all this, since this is your first time on the show, tell the world, who is Adam Lemke and how did you get started in this here sport?
Well, I'm 16. I'm from Hollister, California, and I've been driving for about 7 years now. And we got started just by going to NASCAR events, and we seen a quarter midget display up on in the fan section, and we decided we wanted to do this for just as a hobby, and it soon turned into something that we wanted to pursue as my career, and this is what it turned into.
So what have you been doing up to this point? I know for those who have been paying attention out west and on the open wheel side, they've seen your name associated with a lot of USAC midget stuff the last year or so.
Yeah, I mean, I started an open wheel, and we slowly ventured away from that after quarter midgets, and then we kind of got back into it, and we started running USAC and asphalt and dirt midgets.
And I think swept a couple championships this year, did you not?
Yeah, we won overall and asphalt. We missed the dirt championship by 2 points, I think. So
by that much.
Yeah, it's a bummer, but
there's a pattern here.
Yeah, you can't win all of them.
hair.
So I had to chuckle because Tom's getting the microphone all situated for him. It's okay. He's a rookie, but we'll get him sorted out by the end of this. I also have to say, Tom, his hair game is on point.
I think it's fleek. Isn't that what they say now, the kids? All they say, it's on fleek.
No, just
No?
don't try.
Okay.
No.
It's okay.
Yeah, the hair
It
game
does
is
look
definitely...
I mean, do you have like a hair product company as a sponsor, or?
He's just that good, Allie.
I
Come
mean,
on.
his is like way better than mine, and like I straightened mine this morning, so.
Thank you.
On that note, so we obviously have been talking about Driver's Edge Development and the fact that you were one of the drivers who was selected to be a part of the program that was announced earlier today. So the obvious question, but still I think important, what does it mean to you to be a part of this?
I mean, it's huge for drivers like myself or Sam or the other 5 drivers or 6 drivers that are involved with it. And I'm grateful that I made the list for Team Chevy and GMS and Junior Motorsports, and I'm going to take full advantage of it and see what I can do with it.
Was this something that you expected, going into a new situation with Junior Motorsports? I'm sure you expected that it would get your name out there a little bit more, but maybe not to this extent.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely huge when you got Junior Motorsports and GMS kind of backing you up and promoting you and your brand and everything that you're about. So I can't wait to start the year.
What do you feel like the transition's going to be like? I mean, as you mentioned, you've done a whole ton of open wheel stuff the last couple years, and now you're transitioning into full body late models.
At first, it was a little bit of a struggle for me. I was running for NKM, and the first year with them was really good. I struggled a little bit just with the transition from going to open wheel and full body late models. So, but I think I got the transition down now. So I can't wait to see what I can do with it.
Nate Clower Motorsports, for those of you who aren't familiar with
If you hadn't gotten to it, I was going to.
One of the top teams on the West Coast, if not the top team on the West Coast for that. Yeah, a little bit of a different situation running out there in a late model versus here. Stepping into the Junior Motorsports ride and, of course, filling Sam Mayer's shoes. Pretty big shoes to fill there, but also a pretty big stage with the Cars Tour. What are you most looking forward to about that part of it?
I would say just the experience and being able to run for Junior Motorsports and running with Josh Berry, who's one of the top late model drivers in the country, and Ryan Schaefer is going to be my crew chief, so I can't wait to work with him. And I mean, he's obviously one of the better known crew chiefs and for what he can do with the race car, and I just can't wait for that.
I saw Barry lurking around earlier today. Have you gotten a chance to start picking his brain yet?
Of course, the first test session at Hickory, I was talking his ear off. He probably thought I was a little annoying, but okay.
Speaking of testing, I know that you did test for Junior. What was it like for the first time, and what were your first impressions? I think you did it at Hickory, right?
Yeah, I've tested twice there with Hawk McCall and Junior Motorsports. And
oh, that's right. Yeah, you tested with Hawk too.
Yeah, both teams are really cool, but I mean, Junior Motorsports, the name itself is huge, so that was a little nerve-wracking. I kind of got the butterflies, but I treated it just as any other test session with any other team.
What was it like? What was Hickory like for you? What were your first impressions of that track?
It's a little rough, compared to all the trucks all the tracks I've ran at. But I like the history behind it and the track itself.
Yeah.
So there's that too, because you're from California. You're going to be seeing a lot of tracks like this for the first time this year. I mean, is that intimidating or exciting for you to get to race at places that maybe you heard about growing up but haven't had the opportunity to be at before?
I think they're both. It's both intimidating and exciting, just because it's completely different. It's a whole new ball game for me. I've never ran on tracks like Hickory or other tracks that I'm going to be running in the Cars Tour. So I'm definitely excited to be learning how to drive the car in different tracks and different surfaces.
Do you feel like it's an advantage too that you're going into the Cars Tour situation having just come off chasing points and winning a championship out west? I mean, there are some, like we were talking to Sam earlier, he's not been in as many positions the last couple of years to chase championships. It seems like you're used to it though.
Well, I definitely had the opportunity to do what I want to do. And, with the midgets, I can't thank Randy Chastain enough for giving me a great car every race. I think I won 8 of 12 asphalt midget races last year. And so, the confidence and the momentum that I gained off of that will only help me later on.
You were never out of the top 3, right? Is that what I remember?
Yeah, I never finished outside the top 3.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So with you doing the Cars Touring Series, obviously for this new development program, will you be able to have the chance to go back to your roots and do some racing out west, or are they going to keep you strictly busy here on the East Coast?
The plan as of right now is to run out west with NKM, Nick Clower, out here with Junior Motorsports, and then whatever I can fill in with the midget.
That's good. See, that's going to be fun schedule, because it's a busy schedule, but it's a good mix. And I feel like, we talk about drivers, Tom, who diversify their efforts. It's an overused comparison, I know, but Christopher Bell, Kyle Larson, drivers who run multiple disciplines and really keep a lot of different skills sharp, and I can't help but think that that's going to help Adam here.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely an advantage being able to run all those different types of cars at different tracks, and just the advantage overall and being able to know what to do at different tracks and learning from different cars, and it may or may not transfer over, but just the advantage of being able to learn is huge.
I am curious about that. Is anything at all going to transfer over from the midget that you've been used to the last couple of years to the late model from a driving sense?
The sense of speed is obviously key, because there's nothing surrounding you in a full midget or an open wheel. So being able to be used to the speed is huge, and not so much driving wise, because it's a whole different ball game, but it hopefully should help a little bit.
Do you think, we talked to Sam about his impression of Dale Jr. Have you had a chance to spend a lot of time with Dale up to now? I mean, I know you met him at least, I know, but how much time have you spent with him, and what sorts of conversation or feedback have you been getting?
I met him the first meeting I had with Junior Motorsports at the shop, so that was really cool. I talked to him and Kelly for a little while in LW. And it was a great conversation. Dale's a great guy, and he definitely knows what he's talking about. So being able to have him behind me and backing me up is huge.
What was it like for you to actually meet him for the first time?
It was nerve-wracking. I just got off the plane, hadn't slept for a whole day because when we went to the meeting, I was running at Stockton in the midget, and we had to pack up. I literally drove the car into the trailer, and we packed up and left for the airport. Got there, got here in Mooresville. And then went to the shop at 7 o'clock in the morning to kind of shore everything up. Wow. So it was nerve-wracking, but it was a great time.
Man.
Sam was a little starstruck, he said, the first time he met Junior. Was there any of that for you?
Oh, yeah. I was definitely shaking a little bit. But it was a great time.
I don't think there's any kid that wouldn't be shaking a little bit, Tom, when they meet Dale Jr. for the first time. What's your expectation for this year, Adam? That may not be something that you've had a ton of time to think about yet, but for the Cars season and even for the outside races, what's your expectation or goals that you've set for this year?
Definitely to finish in the top 5 or do the best I can in every race, and take full advantage of what I have and what I can do with it. This is the year I have to do my best, and this is the year that I have to make it count. So I'm looking forward to it.
I feel like, you mentioned I know. It was one of those moments where my brain just kind of died for a second. Yeah, well, it might. I've already got enough brain damage today. Something like that. You mentioned a couple of the historic tracks. I know one of the big things that you'll get with the Cars Tour is the opportunity to visit a bunch of different historic tracks, which is maybe a little bit more diversity in schedule than you've had out west. Is that something you're looking forward to, the opportunity to get to see a lot of different styles of racetracks rather than kind of the same few tracks you've been running the past couple years?
For sure. I've definitely only been running a handful of selected tracks like Madera, Roseville, Stockton, and such, but the Cars Tour definitely lets us able to go to different tracks and different surfaces and learning just how to run different cars and at different tracks, whether the conditions are. So I'm looking forward to that.
So to circle back to Driver's Edge now for the couple minutes we've got left in this segment, I asked Sam this earlier. What are you hoping to get out of the program this year, whether it's on track or off track stuff?
Off track, I'm definitely looking forward to building my brand and my name itself and getting myself out there. And on track, knowing that I have great teams that back me up and I know I'll have the car to do it. Now it's just up to me to take the checker flag home.
Is it cool for you to be able to work with some of the guys that are already in the top 3 series, like Noah and John Hunter, as being a part of it as well?
For sure. I feel like I'm definitely at like level 1 right now. I would say I'm running the late models, but I think that's one of the biggest advantages and one of the bigger concepts of running or being a part of the development series is I have everyone to lean on and kind of take information from them.
Talk a little bit about, before we let you go, talk a little bit about just seeing Charlotte, seeing Mooresville and the whole kind of North Carolina thing. I mean, being from California and obviously focusing on NASCAR for so long, what was it like to be able to actually come over and see it all for the first time?
It was eye-opening for sure. I definitely like it here better than California. So every time I come here, I'm always excited to see what it brings me.
Go ahead.
Have you gotten the chance to be able to go on Lake Norman yet?
No, I haven't.
See, being a California kid,
it's a little chilly for to go out on the lake.
Yeah, but I was gonna, like if when he comes back, in the summertime, you'll have to, at least check out Lake Norman. Maybe, I don't know if you're a wakeboarder or any of that sort of thing.
He's from California.
I know he's from California, and he's, California as you naturally think.
Yeah,
of
I haven't met anybody from California.
So do you do any of that? Wakeboarding or anything?
Or wake surfing?
I do a little bit, but I'm not a big fan of the ocean or big water. So ever since I seen like Titanic or something, I'm just
He may be the first person from the state of California that I've ever heard say that. And on that note, we are right up against the commercial break, so we're going to go ahead and take that. And when we return, well, it's already been crazy enough. I don't even want to think about what we can still get into. Race Chaser Radio's Motorsports Madness rolls on in just a couple of minutes. Jacob Seelman, Tom Baker, Allie Boulay. We'll be right back.
When do you think of a plumber? Like most people, even if it's an emergency, you can be confident about who will arrive to help you. For quality and reliability, count on someone you can trust. Call on the plumbing services of Hague Quality Water of Maryland. Plumbing doesn't have to be an emergency. We handle all kinds of preventative maintenance too. Hague Quality Water of Maryland is family owned here in Annapolis since 1993. For a refreshing choice, call us at 888-84-WATER or visit us online.
Here at Lewis Meineke, we're more than just your average car care center. Hey, it's Dave, your neighbor from Lewis Meineke. Whether you need an oil change, brakes, tires, or anything under the hood, we've got you covered. Take advantage of our free check engine light service as well. Yes, free. And don't forget about our free shuttle service. Never stress, we'll take care of the rest. On with life. Give us a call at Lewis Meineke, 302-827-2054.
Is your job sucking the life out of you? Wake up. You can do something else. Information technology. I know what you're thinking, but I'm not a math and science person. No problem and no excuses, because it's not rocket science. It's My Computer Career. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. You can start your new life as an IT pro in as little as 4 months. mycomputercareer.edu. That's mycomputercareer.edu.
Do you love the sound of high-revving motors and the smell of burning rubber? Do you want to get your car sideways right at the ragged edge of control? If you've always wanted to try drifting or learn to improve your drifting skills, Summit Point Motorsports Park, the Mid-Atlantic's premier motorsports facility, has the expert instructors and the specialized track to teach you how to drift and the skills necessary to drift competitively. From skid pad to open sessions, Summit Point Motorsports Park has the safe and open environment that allows drifters of all skill levels, new to intermediate, to get sideways and smoking. With a focus on safety and the skill set necessary to drift competitively, Summit Point Motorsports Park's Drift Nirvana is just the thing for you. Call for your reservation today, 304-725-8444. Or for more information, go online, summitpoint-raceway.com, or you can email them at office@bsrinc.com. Drift Nirvana, getting you sideways the right way.
If you own a gun, you have a full-time responsibility. When you aren't using it, be sure it can't get into the hands of curious children, troubled teenagers, a thief, or anyone else who might misuse it. Your family, friends, and neighbors are all counting on you. Remember, always, lock it up. For more information on firearm storage safety, visit ncpc.org. This message brought to you by the National Crime Prevention Council, the Bureau of Justice Assistance, and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Chase Cabrey, and you're listening to Race Talk on the Performance Motorsports Network. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back to Motorsports Madness, presented by mycomputercareer.edu, which Tom will tell everybody about in a little while.
Okay.
Jacob Seelman, Tom Baker, Ali Boulay, and our second special guest of the evening, Adam Lemke, right now, talking about driver's edge development. And we ran out of time in the last segment to let you give all your thank yous and shout-outs to people that have helped you get to this point, Adam, and we certainly want to give you the space to do that. So who makes it happen?
I want to thank Junior Motorsports, Dale, Mike Beam at GMS, and everyone at GMS for giving me the opportunity. Team Chevy, everyone at Chevy Performance, and Dane, Pat for giving me the opportunity and letting me be on the list of the 6 drivers to, represent their brand. And I want to thank NKM for helping me get to where I am today. My dad, Randy Chastain, and everyone just helped me get here.
So, by the way, our video producer, Chris Murdoch, wandering back into the room with the camera, reminded me that we also have to do this part of it.
Yes.
Tom, hand our young scribe the Sharpie here, and we'll let him sign the Wall of Fame.
Where is he going? Oh, he's going right next to Sam. So we've got the Wall of Fame now covered with Adam Lemke's signature. Okay. There we go. It's kind of like Donald Trump's. It's a lot of straight lines up and down.
Mess it up a little
bit. It's kind of a different signature.
Are you going to have to go to the Richard Petty School for autographs?
He might have. Oh, wow.
There isn't a young driver in this country that would pass that exam. Richard practiced for hours a day for years on that signature. Okay, real quick before we let you go, you've got about 30 seconds. Where can we find you on social media? How do fans keep up with you?
You can follow me on at Adam Lemke Racing, and my website is adamlemkeracing.com, and that's pretty much it.
Okay. Well, we definitely look forward. I'm sure you're on all your social medias, Adam Lemke Racing. There you go.
That's very easy and efficient. So Adam is going to take his hair, and we'll let him escape the chair here in a minute.
I hope so.
But
not going to leave it here.
I mean, I'm kind of jealous of the hair. It's really good.
We appreciate his time and certainly look forward to seeing his successes on track in 2019. And I do believe the social for the program is at Driver's Edge DEV for development.
I think so, yeah.
That'll be how to track all of the Driver's Edge drivers. We're going to step aside right now, and when we return, more Motorsports Madness. We'll be right back.
We're growing like crazy and need account reps who know their way around agencies, the internet, and social media. Got connections? Or do you know how to get to the decision makers? Are you fearless? We need you. Internet radio, or as we call it, wireless mobile radio, is rapidly becoming the place to be with almost limitless income potential. So contact us to get involved with the fastest growing professionally produced group of internet radio stations in the world. Your imagination is the only limit here. Call 717-749-0444. That's 717-749-0444. Or you can email us at scorpionradiogroup@gmail.com. You want to ask for Sue.
Okay, so Sarah, I'm dropping you off at Emily's?
Yep.
And Josh, you're going to?
Soccer, Dad. Soccer practice.
Right. Oh, by the way, I just wanted to let you know when I pick you both up, I'll be wearing my short shorts.
What? No!
Yep, and my dorky dad hat, and I'm going to do my dad dance for all your friends. They'll love it!
Seriously? Why?
Because I like my short shorts. Of course, I could be talked out of it if you guys would just buckle up your seatbelts without giving me a hard time.
It's important to get your kids to buckle up for safety, no matter what it takes. And sometimes, all it takes is your parental powers of persuasion.
Okay, we're buckling up. See, all buckled.
Good choice. I'll just have to do my dad dance at dinner time.
What? No!
Do what you have to make sure your kids are wearing their seatbelts, even on short drives. Never give up until they buckle up. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. Visit safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup for more information.
If you're a gearhead and you just can't get enough of your favorite motorsports on that channel on the cable, or you look at that Guy network and you just go, what does that have to do with me? We have the answer. Performance Motorsports Network. Right here on the internet. The best cruising tunes, the best in motorsports programming, and the best shows. We have opinionated hosts, and we like it that way. If you want to get involved, if you want to bench race, be listening for information coming up soon right here on this channel, the Performance Motorsports Network, your source for motorsports.
Hi, I'm NASCAR driver William Byron. You're listening to Motorsports Madness on PMN, the Performance Motorsports Network.
This sounds a little too heavy for him.
Right? I thought about that after we did it, but it's okay.
Interesting
Yes, I just wanted to do that. Stand alone. I can't picture Byron doing that.
Wow.
Sorry, I bring the comical relief.
This is Race Chaser Radio's Motorsports Madness.
With
Allie
emphasis on
Boulay,
the
everyone.
madness.
Yeah, Allie Boulay, everyone. She'll be here all week. Jacob Seelman, Tom
Dinner show
Baker.
at 7. Don't forget to tip your waiter.
Something like that. Rod Wortham is now in the chair that's been inhabited by our driver guests for the last hour. We'll talk more with him in a couple of minutes.
Rod's not a driver.
No, he's not. Right now, though, Tom is going to talk about...
I've talked to Carol. You're not a driver.
All right. Right now, Tom's going to talk about my computer career and regale us on what they do and thank them for supporting the program.
Well, you just did that.
Well, I just did that. So.
Here's the deal. I mean, look, a lot of times in life, we run up against a point where we want a career change. We just feel like we're in a rut, or we want something that really can take us to that next level. Well, if you're in that situation, I've got an idea for you. You could be an IT professional in just 4 months. That's it, 4 months. With mycomputercareer.edu, and here's how this works. You can either do it online, or you can go to one of their campuses. They've got 7 of them around the country, and you could be, in as little as 4 months, a fully trained IT professional. Not only that, but My Computer Career works with hundreds of employers to help you to get placed and get working as fast as possible, and they have financial aid available for those who qualify, including the GI Bill. So here's how easy this is. Go to mycomputercareer.edu, mycomputercareer.edu, take the free career evaluation test, and if you decide that you want to pursue this, and I've seen their facility in Raleigh, North Carolina, I know the quality of their programs, and I've talked to some of their graduates. It's the real deal. mycomputercareer.edu. As little as 4 months, you could be an IT professional. Just take the free career evaluation today. And as Jacob said, we do thank them for being a part of everything that we are doing right now here on Race Chaser Radio.
And with all that, we're going to quickly step aside again. When we return, the buzzwords are going to be brand building, and we're going to talk to Rod Wortham about all that and how it ties into Driver's Edge development. Back with more of Race Chaser Radio's Motorsports Madness around the turn.
You own a performance car and you know how to drive, but you want to learn real performance driving. Well, Bunky, get that car off the street and onto the track. Summit Point Motorsports Park, the Mid-Atlantic's premier road racing facility, located just over an hour from D.C. in nearby Summit Point, West Virginia, is the place to go. And you'll find that Friday at the track is going to give you what you need. For less than a monthly car payment, you can attend this regularly scheduled one-day instructional event in your street car on one of Summit Point's 3 world-class road racing circuits. You'll receive classroom instruction, skid pad instruction in their cars, including front and rear skid control, and 4 20-minute in-your-car instructional sessions from a professional instructor. Have fun, go fast, and really learn how to drive. Call 304-725-8444 for class schedules and details. That's 304-725-8444. Friday at the track at Summit Point Motorsports Park.
Is your job sucking the life out of you? Wake up. You can do something else. Information technology. I know what you're thinking, but I'm not a math and science person. No problem and no excuses, because it's not rocket science. It's My Computer Career. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. You can start your new life as an IT pro in as little as 4 months. mycomputercareer.edu. That's mycomputercareer.edu.
The Performance Motorsports Network is a compilation of shows about motorsports. From technical to controversial to just fun, everything you like about racing and gearhead stuff is right here on one internet channel. The Performance Motorsports Network. Tell your friends about it.
Hi, I'm Reed Sorensen. Racing has been a part of me and my family for as long as I can remember. I had to make tough choices early on to get to the top. It took hard work and dedication, but it's those tough choices that help me prepare for challenges I would face as a cup driver. Make the right choices today and be ready for the challenges tomorrow. This message is brought to you by the U.S. Air Force.
Hi, I'm Matt Tift, and you're listening to Race Talk on the Performance Motorsports Network.
I barely touched you. I felt so sensitive.
I just wasn't expecting
you
your
to do it
hand
with me.
in my headset.
Wow.
Wow.
Anyway,
She's
welcome back to
violent.
Motorsports Madness, folks.
Good grief.
If you're not watching this show on the Race Chaser
You
Media
should be.
Facebook Live Thursday nights at 7 Eastern, you should be.
Wow.
You miss half the fun.
Jacob Seelman, Tom Baker, Allie Boulay, who's being very violent over there to my left.
My apologies. I'm just here for comedic relief.
Yeah,
And you are good at that. And we have Rod Wortham
Yes,
from
we
Race
do.
Face Brand Development joining us in our Race Chaser studio.
We do. That was actually, I will say that was a co-op suggestion between Tom and I because, well, the buzzwords of today's press conference at the NASCAR Hall of Fame from Chevy, from the drivers, and from Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Mike Beam was brand building, which is something that, Rod, your company with Raceface Brand Development has done with a lot of drivers over the last couple years. In fact, 3 of them that were up on that stage earlier today. So from your perspective, I feel like it warrants now talking a little bit about what Chevy is hoping to accomplish with the program and kind of how you've already started with a few of the guys in Driver's Edge to accomplish the brand building goal that they're looking for.
Well, the brand part of racing now is so important. I mean, if you look at it, it's some people say it's 60-40, 60 on-track performance, 40% off-track performance, but I truthfully think it's more like 50-50 because the sport is so expensive to be a part in that you have to be a good brand ambassador to be able to attract that correct sponsor. Mm-hmm. And it just doesn't happen overnight. So for an example, with Raceface Brand Development, I mean, we've started with drivers who are 9 years old and starting to get them started now so that this learning curve is not so big when it gets to this stage. And I think all the manufacturers, and I think Chevrolet has really kind of stepped out here because what you heard there today was 90% about the brand and about how you build a fan base. And I go back to, Dale Jr.'s interview with Bob Costas when he last stepped out of the car. When he talked to Bob, he told him, he said, look, everything that I've done, all the opportunities that I've had, the doors that have been open, has all been because of Junior Nation. you know, that fan following has really paved the way for him. I know, yes, he was Dale Sr.'s son, but he came out and had to kind of stand on his own, and that Junior Nation, and he has built an unbelievable brand. So if you're going to go out and you're going to get taught how to build a brand as a driver, and you have the opportunity to learn it from the person who did it the best, I mean, that's a win-win deal.
I mean, especially considering the fact Dale Jr. won 13 years in a row, most popular driver?
15.
Sorry,
15.
15.
Don't short him those two most popular driver
My
awards.
apologies,
So
sorry.
it was it struck me earlier today, Tom, that when I talked with Noah Gregson for a while, he said one of the things he's most excited about with being a part of Driver's Edge is the fact that they have brand building tools, that they've put the brand building tools and strategy in place, and that was something that he felt like was new for him in this situation, and something that he really needed and needs at this juncture in his career. That really stood out to me, you know, even for the guys that are in his position or in Zane Smith's position that have made it to the Xfinity Series, that they're still circling this skill set as something that's so vitally important.
Well, I think that's because not only do they understand the importance of it where it relates to the sponsors and the fan base, but they just love to do it. So in that sense, if you love to do something and somebody can teach you how to do it better, you're always going to want to learn that. And I think that's, you know, guys like Noah and like Zane and like John Hunter Nemechek, who are a little farther up the ladder than some of the younger guys like Adam and like Sam that we've talked about tonight that are both with you, Rod. And you've got Sheldon Creed, who also is in that program, who couldn't be here tonight. But I think some of those guys are really going to benefit even from the older guys like Noah and John Hunter and those guys who already are pretty good at this, but still getting better because of what the program will teach them.
Well, and I think it is. I mean, you're now taking a talented driver, you're putting him on a big stage. Like they were all on a big stage today. I mean, stop and think.
Literally.
About it. I mean, you're on the stage where you hope to end your career at. In the NASCAR Hall of Fame. So I think the ability for them to be able to learn, and I think the unique thing about this Driver's Edge program is they're going to teach these drivers to still maintain their personality. I think when you get to this level, you expect that everybody is like, okay, we'll fit inside of this box. And we want you to do everything inside of this box. Well, guess what? There are no personalities in the sport. I mean, if you go back and you look at Dale Sr. and Rusty Wallace and Darrell Waltrip, they all had different personalities in the way that they presented themselves. And now you've got Kyle Busch and you've got Ryan Blaney. And so I think this is key. And I think that to get the fans back to NASCAR, this is something that's extremely important. And I applaud Junior Motorsports, GMS, Chevrolet for getting involved with this and looking at it and saying, look, we see a need that's here, and let's go out and let's fix it. And let's make sure that these young drivers that are coming up, you know, again, it's easy to go out and say the wrong thing, do the wrong thing, and then try to recruit that. All you got to do is look at any other sports professional teams that are out there, and that's one thing I love about motorsports. You don't hear our athletes being in the news for the wrong things. If you
Not
look
very
at
much anymore.
No,
Very rarely.
It's very small percentage of that. If you look at the NBA and you look at the NFL, I mean, it's almost a daily. If you look hard enough, you can find something almost on a daily basis to where they're in the news for the wrong things.
So it becomes about trying to figure out the best way to sort of project your personality, but with knowing where the limits are.
Correct. And the way that they've got this set up throughout the year, there's going to be training courses that are going to, they're basically not just going to sit down in a meeting and say, okay, you need to do this. They're going to train them. They're going to show them how to do it. They're going to allow them to be able to practice. It's no different than going to a big race. You know, if you could go to that race and run practice laps before, you're going to take advantage of it. So if you're going to be good in the media, you want to be able to practice it and be able to hone your skills and then have somebody that's working with you that can say, here's how we can do it better, or here's how to avoid this particular question. And I saw a lot of that go on today early in the morning when we were in the green room before, you know, all the drivers went downstairs, because they told them, they said, look, there are people in the press there today. You never know what they're going to ask you. and they just kind of gave them some guidance. And I just saw that early this morning, and I thought, you know what? This is really good. It's not just good for these 6 drivers, but guess what? It's good for the whole sport. Because as these 6 drivers at their young level excel, guess what it's going to do? It's going to push the other drivers to go out and say, I've got to be better. And when we do that, then it's good for the whole sport, and everybody is a winner.
Now, would you say this is similar to how the NFL, other major professional sports leagues, they have combines or they have training camps? In a way, this is kind of like a training camp, but for etiquette and getting these drivers ready for the next step. And it's also, is it similar to the NASCAR Next program, or is this something totally different?
I think it's somewhat similar, but I think it's probably going to be more focused. And I think the key word that I heard today from all of the talks that were given was the word accountability. We're going to hold you accountable. And you know what? It's not like that you want to treat these younger drivers like children, but we've got older drivers that are in the series right now that need to show accountability.
Well, and again, if you have a job, you have to be accountable for your performance on the job. This is the same thing.
And I think a lot of it, too, they're going to learn, the business side of what's going on in the sport, which is extremely important because, again, as we all know, we're all in business. We're in the entertainment business. Our vehicle is racing, and I think that's extremely important. And that's why that we have the sponsors like Monster and the people that come in this because, again, we're entertaining. And if we've got good brand ambassadors, if we've got good spokespersons for that sport, people are going to want to be attracted to that. And like I said, the great thing for me about racers is, and I'll go to like some major quarter midget deals where you got 200 or 300 kids there, and it's the quality of them that are there, and it's their parents, and you can see that they're polite, they're just well mannered, and to bring them up here now at this level and get them trained is a great thing.
Yes, Rod said the word quality. I'm going to touch more on that right after this break. Stay with us.
Parents, your son or daughter has had their license for a while now, but you want to make sure they're prepared for any situation they may face on the road. High school driver's ed doesn't teach them to drive defensively. They need to be prepared for any highway emergency. For less than a month's insurance, and a whole lot less, BSR instructors at Summit Point Motorsports Park in nearby Summit Point, West Virginia, will teach your son or daughter how to respond instantly and positively to unexpected situations on the road. BSR's specialized accident avoidance training teaches swerve to avoid maneuvers at highway speed, ocular driving, which focuses driving attention on ways to avoid accidents, vehicle dynamics and feedback, skid control and skid recovery, threshold braking on straights and progressive braking on curves, and off-road recovery techniques. This is stuff driver's ed simply doesn't teach. So call BSR today, 304-725-8444. Give your kid the skill set needed to drive safely and responsibly on the highway. That's 304-725-8444.
You hear that? That's the sound of America's only sports car. That's right, it's a Corvette. But not just any Corvette, it's your Corvette. It's that who cares if there's traffic part of your day. And this can be you when you come to Cooper Corvettes. With 60 years of Corvettes to choose from, there's always a Corvette in your budget. And they'll service any Corvette you bring in. Cooper Corvettes on Route 1 just north of Quantico and Triangle. Call, click, or visit CooperCorvettes.com.
HMS Motorsport is the leader in motorsport safety. HMS serves the majority of Monster Energy NASCAR Cup, Xfinity, Camping World Truck, IndyCar, and IMSA WeatherTech teams, as well as countless SCCA and club-level racers and driving enthusiasts throughout North America. Featuring world-renowned brands like Schuberth helmets, Schroep belts, Adidas suits and shoes, Lifeline fire systems, and even Racecom radio kits, HMS has the right product for your type of racing and your budget. Their representatives are experts on only one thing, making your track driving as safe as possible. With locations in Mooresville, North Carolina, and Danvers, Massachusetts, the HMS staff is always ready to take the time to help you find the right product for your safety needs. Don't settle for second when it comes to motorsport safety. Stop in to HMS Motorsport. Visit them on their website at hmsmotorsport.com or send them a message on Facebook and tell them the folks from PMN Radio sent you.
Hi, this is John Ondrasik of Five for Fighting, here for RAD, the entertainment industry's voice for road safety. You know, style is a personal thing, and your lifestyle is your business. But if you take it on the road, it becomes everybody's business. So please, plan ahead, designate before you celebrate. Friends, don't let friends drive drunk.
A public service announcement brought to you by RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Ben Rhodes, and you're listening to the Performance Motorsports Network, the voice of motorsports.
Dear Ben, the rest of us would really like to know what you're doing in 2019.
Please give us good news.
Signed, everybody.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Motorsports Madness. On that note, Jacob Seelman, Tom Baker, Ali Boulay, who was much less dangerous in this segment. Thank you. She's going to hurt me later. It's okay. We've got Rod Wortham in the chair to Tom's right for
Rod may never come back again.
From Race Face Brand Development. And you made a comment before the break that I'm glad you said it the way you did, because it was, I think it might have been Mike Beam that said this earlier today as being a part of the Driver's Edge development program that stuck out to me. They want quality over quantity. You've had a chance to see this journey from, as Mike said, what it was, kind of an 11-month process to get to this point. I mean, can you elaborate a little bit on that and just kind of seeing the 6 drivers that they've got now in the program? Do you feel like they're accomplishing that goal?
I do. It would have been real easy to go out and just say, we're going to bring 20 drivers in or 30 drivers, or go at it at the attack that we're going to have some drivers from the west, the central, the east coast, up north, northeast, or associated with a particular track. But they didn't do that. They went out there and said, no, we want good quality drivers. Because stop and think about it. If you bring a driver into this program and they don't excel to the top, it makes the program look weak. And with having 3 drivers in there, I mean, I'm going to tell you what, I was stoked. Because I'm looking at that going, look at all of the support that they're going to have to say, you're going to be successful. You're not going to be just a one-shot deal.
Well, and really, it seemed like everything that everyone said on that stage really kind of led back to a program like yours. Because, when you talk about brand building and you talk about social media and you talk about brand ambassador and you talk about all those things, the off-track stuff, that's where RaceFace focuses its time.
It is, and and it's very rewarding for me. I don't have children, so right now I have 13 children. Some of them are young men, but again, we're from the ages of 10 years old to 21 years old, and it gives me a tremendous amount of joy personally to see them develop. And you just saw Adam Lemke. I mean, I did an interview with Adam about 3 weeks ago, and I went back and watched his first one. Oh my gosh, it was amazing, the difference.
Great job.
You look at young men like Jesse Love, and where Jesse's at. I mean, you look at him sometime, you're just like, he's 13.
Yeah.
And even young Colby Sokol that just won at the 2 Sokol boys that
and
are
Joe Valento was
10 and 12. Joe
Valento,
and I mean they're in these positions now, and they represent themselves very good for their age, and they're just going to get better. I mean, they're just going to get better. We felt that it was an important part of racing, and I think we've kind of hit on something.
And you said young men, but you also have Cassidy Hines.
We do. Thank you.
It's
yes,
young men and
young women.
Young
and
drivers.
Cassidy is extremely marketable. She's
Yep.
extremely marketable.
Yep.
So it's all good, man.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of things, I'm sure, to try and boil down into a couple minutes in a segment here, but in seeing all of this start to lay out today and seeing where Chevrolet wants to take this, I've heard some people and even a couple of the drivers already say that they feel like this program is going to change the game and change the sport in a lot of positive ways. Do you see that?
Absolutely. Absolutely, I do, because again, we're going to have better spokespeople for the sport.
Yep.
And if they're better spokespeople, if they're better brand ambassadors, we're going to have more sponsorships, more marketing partners are going to want to come on board. And I mean, you would have to be, kind of asleep behind the wheel, if you would, to understand that sponsorship now is a vital portion of our sport, and it's something that we're missing. And so why not attack that part of it? Why not say, what can we do to attract people? And, well, you have better brand ambassadors. You have people that can talk about their product. And it's not just what's going on the racetrack. It's also what's going on in social media. These young drivers are going to learn how to do social media and how to do it correctly. Yep. You know, and when you get into some of these teams and you see how they're tracking the social media involvement, and there's a value to that. So if you're doing it correctly, and you know, so if we're hearing the negative side, which I don't ever like to talk about, well, it's not as many people are watching. Well, I think there's more people watching than what we think. They're just watching it in different ways.
Well, that's exactly what I've been saying.
Yeah, you're following on social media. Well, guess what? You know, there's a value to seeing somebody being tagged there or being mentioned on social media. And these young drivers are going to learn how to do this the right way.
And you're not, if you're watching the race on an app or you're interacting through an app or through social media, you're not counting in the TV ratings, but you're still paying attention. And NASCAR's social media numbers are absolutely off the chart.
I mean, I can remember last year when Dale Jr. tweeted about Sam. I mean, it was like his numbers, they just blew up. Yeah, and the same thing's going to happen for Adam.
Sure.
You know, so Adam comes out here running for Dale Jr. I mean, there's a certain amount of value to that because now you're kind of tied into one of the most popular drivers ever in our sport. And I think that Dale Jr. putting his name with this today is a big deal.
Oh, of
and
course.
that combination right now of Junior Motorsports and GMS and the ladder there for them to be able to move up.
I was going to say it's the perfect fit because Junior's got the late model and then you go straight into GMS all the way up into Xfinity.
I mean, it's the perfect thing. You've got GMS where they're the powerhouse with the trucks. They've won the Truck Series Championship with Johnny Sauter, and then you've got JR Motorsports with the Xfinity. And it's been, 3 years in a row, if not more, that a JR Motorsports cars won the championship. So, I mean, you're going into good quality caliber equipment.
And the whole organization. So now the unique thing about that is joining these two together is a driver gets in there and he gets to learn the system. And it's not like, oh, well, you're going to be over here at Junior Motorsports and then you're going to go over here to GMS. These two teams are working together so that there's not that learning curve. I mean, every time a driver steps up and gets into a new program with a new team, there's at least a 3-month learning curve to know how the team functions. Right. Now they're just kind of combining their efforts, and I got to believe that behind the scenes they're all going to be kind of singing out of the same songbook and teaching the same thing. So they're eliminating that.
And I was going to say, with somebody like Sam, for example, who's going to run some truck races this year, you got Brett Malfait coming in who is the defending champion. You know, I mean, who better to learn from and to be mentored by than that?
And you know what? And these guys they're so great. The young drivers that I've got right now, if I've got a younger driver that's going to a track, you know, these guys will call them. Adam will call somebody, go, hey, you're going to go legend racing. Well, let me tell you a little bit about this.
That's awesome.
Jesse does that. I mean, that's invaluable.
Yep.
So, again,
they're going to be the friendships they build.
Well, it is, and they're going to be able to experience the same thing, just like you said.
Yep.
From Moffitt and from Noah and stuff like that. I mean, where can you go get that type of education?
You can't.
And if you're not with a teammate, are you getting the right information? You know, if you're getting it from another competitor.
Yep.
So there's no down negative sides to this whatsoever. And Jacob, to really answer your question, I think the smartest thing they did was keep the class small.
Yes.
And again, get really, really good at this.
Right.
Because there's some other manufacturers out there that are doing this, and if you sit down and ask the driver what they got out of it, they're like, well, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm kind of on the list, but they're not getting any value out of it.
The thing I like, too, is there's no contract. These drivers aren't necessarily going to stay with Chevy or whatever all the way through. If they get a better opportunity, they're free to pursue that. I love that because this is really give back on the part of Chevy, and it's great because some of these drivers probably will wander in other directions eventually just out of lack of opportunity at the time in Chevy.
Well, and I think what's going to happen is that the other program is going to get better.
Yeah.
Because they're going to look at it and go, you know what?
Yep.
We now have to focus on quality instead of quantity.
Rod didn't say it, but I will. that other program he's referring to is Toyota Racing Development, I do believe.
Well, I mean, there are two other manufacturers here.
Right.
So let's just say that in general, I think this program could set the tone.
A new precedent, so to
kind
speak.
of a new model for
I think it's already started.
Yeah.
Because I've got some drivers that are in that other program, and we already see the changes.
Yeah.
So bottom line is, what's good for the sport is good for the sport.
I want to get a quick mention in, too, for Anthony Alfredo, because we haven't had a reason to talk about him yet tonight, but we were talking about, how your drivers work together with each other. Anthony's got that whole deal going with the sim and Twitch and all of that where, I'm sure some of these guys have raced with him, and again, just that shared knowledge.
Yeah, it is. Anthony's actually doing things that I've never seen a driver do before.
Any driver.
And here's the cool thing about this. I've had people call me and say, Rod, man, this is really cool that Race Face Brand Development's got Anthony doing this. And I said, I'd like to take the credit for it, but these are all Anthony's ideas.
Yep.
These are
really,
his
really
ideas.
Kid. Yep.
And he's doing Beyond the Helmet. He's doing racing with fans. And the racing with fans, we've seen that start to grow already.
I've seen that blow up on Twitter.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, how cool is that? You talk about that interaction. You don't get to go out and play basketball with LeBron James.
Right.
Exactly.
Right?
Unless you want to pay big money for it, which is why NASCAR and motorsports is so unique. You get the opportunity to be one-on-one with these drivers.
Okay, real quick, we got about 30 seconds. How does somebody find Raceface Brand Development, Raceface TV, all of that?
RacefaceBrandDevelopment.com. You can go there and get to all of our other platforms. That's raceface.tv. And again, we do that segment not really for that, but it's that's our platform to give these guys practice. And we appreciate everything that you and Jacob have done here. Appreciate you having us on. Appreciate you having my drivers here.
Always.
Today.
Yeah,
absolutely right. And I got to give a big shout out too. I mean, I've got Lauren Renier has really helped me kind of orchestrate this whole thing, or if not, he orchestrated and I'm just following.
Lauren is the man.
Lauren's the man when it comes to driver development. With that, we step aside. The lightning round coming up right after this on Race Chaser Radio's Motorsports Madness.
How to be a great dad in 15 seconds. Bike ride, go fish, walk in the park, phone call, milkshake, play catch, picnic, fly a kite, tell jokes, laugh, talk, read a story, tell a story, bumper car, swing set, bowling, pillow fight, cut loose, stay tight. Whew. Because the smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Automotive technicians and auto service trainees, how would you like to work at the beach and perform for one of the best car care centers in the nation? Louis Meineke is now looking for skilled automotive technicians to join their award-winning team. If you're a gearhead that knows his or her stuff, or a young up-and-comer that has the motivation and drive to succeed, then you need to make this call today. 302-827-2054. Louis Meineke Car Care Center, located in beautiful Lewis, Delaware, offers a highly competitive compensation plan, great benefits, a flexible schedule, and did we mention that you're going to be working at the beach? Plus, there's a signing bonus for the right candidates. Technicians must be ASE certified and have a minimum of 6 years experience. Beginners advance at your own pace in one of several entry-level positions. But whatever you do, don't wait. These jobs will go fast. Call Tim at 302-827-2054. That's 302-827-2054. Louis Meineke Car Care Center. Rev up your career.
You hear that? That's the sound of America's only sports car. That's right. It's a Corvette. But not just any Corvette. It's your Corvette. It's that who cares if there's traffic part of your day. And this can be you when you come to Cooper Corvettes. With 60 years of Corvettes to choose from, there's always a Corvette in your budget. And they'll service any Corvette you bring in. Cooper Corvettes on Route 1 just north of Quantico and Triangle. Call, click, or visit CooperCorvettes.com.
How to deal with someone who says that's so gay. Outsmart them.
This party is like so gay. Totally.
Excuse me, but did you ladies know the word gay used to mean happy or excited? Then it became a word used to describe gay people. Then somehow it came to mean dumb or stupid, which is how you just used it, which is not very nice.
Ew, that guy is on the football team and super smart, and he totally hates us now. Totally.
When you say that's so gay, do you realize what you say? Knock it off. Learn more at thinkbeforeyouSpeak.com.
Hi,
I'm Cole Custer, and you're listening to the Performance Motorsports Network, the voice of motorsports.
Welcome back to Motorsports Madness. I pinned my mic cord under the chair. That's why I was confused for a second.
Okay.
And stuck. Jacob Seelman and Tom Baker and run, Allie. Scurry. Scurry quick like.
Allie Breezy, well, that wasn't exactly a scurry. It was more like, but anyways, okay.
Last time I scurried, I hit Spencer like a doe.
that would be Spencer Gallagher, by the way.
No, Spencer Boyd hit the two deer.
Oh, right.
Oh,
right.
Ouch.
Right.
2 deer.
Ouch.
Yikes.
I don't think Gallagher knows how to hunt.
Ouch.
Sorry.
We better move on.
Yeah,
right along.
we do need to move right along. It's time for our lightning round, and there's a lot of things to get to in a short time to do it in. And I'm going to start with the one that most surprised me, and it's happening now for those who are listening to the show live, but for those who may be listening to it on replay or podcast or however you're taking it in, Thursday night, Rolex 24 qualifying.
Yep.
And not only did we obliterate a 26-year-old Daytona International Speedway track record, but for the first time in their history, Mazda and their prototype program is on the pole for the 24 Hours of Daytona.
See, I don't know why. I'm far less. I think I am surprised that they got the pole. I'm not surprised they ran well. I feel like this program has made progress and it's come together well. I don't see any reason why they shouldn't be a factor. As you said earlier when we were discussing it earlier this evening, reliability, durability may be an issue, but honestly, I feel like this is a time when they could really step out and show up. And I think getting the pole and breaking the record the way that they did is a very emphatic, don't count us out.
Okay, so I'm going to make the same point I've made the last 5 years that Mazda's had a little bit of speed in qualifying. They've got to have a car that holds together for 24 hours. They have not had that. However, I will reference the lap by Oliver Jarvis, who put the number 77 Castrol prototype on pole. 1 minute, 33.685 seconds, an average speed of 136.792 miles an hour around the 3.564 mile Daytona International Speedway roval. I'm calling it a roval because it's got both. Charlotte Motor Speedway coined the term, but Daytona did it first. Just saying. The previous track record was 1 minute 33.875, set by Dan Gurney.
Dan Gurney,
in a
legend.
Toyota Eagle MK3. Or sorry, it was fielded by Dan Gurney. I can't read what I wrote. It was the car was owned by Dan Gurney. It was set by driver P.J. Jones in '93. Yep. So I got that sentence twisted around, but it's okay. I got there in the end.
PJ was never afraid of a throttle.
Nah, he was not.
He never met a throttle he didn't like.
Yes.
And so that's why it's remarkable that this lap happened to the extent that it did. Because, I mean, it wasn't like you broke it by a little. They blew it into smithereens.
You know what else is remarkable? Is that 1 year after a much maligned debut in the Rolex 24 at Daytona, Acura Team Penske is here in a big way. Yep. Ricky Taylor qualifies outside front row alongside Oliver Jarvis at a time that was also a skosh, 2 1/1000ths to be exact, underneath the old track record, a minute 33.873 in the number 7 Acura DPI that he'll share with Alexander Rossi and Elio Castroneves on Saturday and Sunday.
What a super team
Ricky
that is.
Taylor, Alex Rossi, and Elio.
Not only is that a super team from a talent and a skill set standpoint, that would be the most entertaining place to be in the entire paddock.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Especially with Castroneves and his jokes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. And
you thought I was a jokester?
Elio's great.
Elio's better.
Now, here's what's really shocking. And it's not even the second row, because the second row is a mirror image of the first row. It's another Penske Acura. Juan Pablo Montoya qualified third.
Yep.
And the second Mazda prototype of John Bomarito in fourth. And, of course, Bommarito's been around IMSA sports car racing for a long time. The fastest Cadillac DPI out of all of them, Felipe Nasser, the Whelen Action Express number 31, in fifth.
Yeah.
That's a shocker considering Action Express has won like three of the last 5 Rolex 24s at Daytona, and Wayne Taylor Racing was not even in the top 5. I'm sitting here looking at this going, guys, where are you?
Here again, I think the game has changed a little bit. You know, I think some teams are starting to catch up to some of these bigger players, and it's nice to see that. Some different names, some different storylines going into this race to talk about. You know, I think that's what makes the 24 what it is. And, you know, we can talk about the favorites all we want.
Right.
But it's just fun to see some other folks at the top of the pylon, even if it is only qualifying.
It's very different. Jordan Taylor, by the way, qualified P6 for the start of the Rolex 24 on Saturday. 4 different teams represented among the top 6, 3 different manufacturers. And, oh, by the way, the co-drivers for that Wayne Taylor Racing Cadillac, one of them is some guy named Fernando Alonso. I can't imagine where we've talked about him in the last 2 years.
Yeah, and again, it's just great to have him in the field and great to have him as a part of that lineup. I mean, he brings world-class driving ability, but he also brings world-class character. And that's, again, he adds prestige to that field.
Just because they qualified 6th does not in any way, shape, or form reflect whether they can win the race or not. And with the kind of talent that they have in that Taylor car, Jordan Taylor, Fernando Alonso, Renger van der Zande, and Kamui Kobayashi, all of whom, in my opinion, are world-class drivers, because they have showcased their skills across the globe. I mean, Jordan Taylor's been to Le Mans in competition several times. Alonso's won Le Mans. Van der Zande and Kobayashi obviously have very accomplished road racing resumes. This is a lineup that you cannot sleep on and will be a factor at some point during the week. Now, the car that I'm most intrigued to see, and I've not seen the total qualifying rundown yet, but that's what I'm going hunting for right now. As a matter of fact, the car I'm most interested in here, Tom, is the Nissan DPI of Core Autosport, Colin Braun, and the whole 54 bunch, and I'm scanning down the list here. Young Coast Racing's impressive in 7th in the DPI class. I think that really stands out. Core was 10th in class in DPI and 12th overall on the grid. So they were a bit off in qualifying, but I doubt that's a reflection of how they race, quite frankly.
No, and it's funny because when I was at HMS Motorsport the other day, there were some of us talking about that and talking about some of the teams here in Colin Braun, and you know, I think that this has really got the opportunity to be one of the most enjoyable and most competitive 24-hour races all the way through the classes in the history of the event, just because of some of those teams. I mean, it is really a stacked field if you go all the way through the different divisions.
I want to tell you what's a little bit terrifying for me is I know that IMSA had good intentions in trying to separate the DPIs and the stock LMP2 cars, but I was worried from the very beginning that trying to split the two classes was going to be disingenuous for one or both. And sure enough, there are only 4, count them, 4 LMP2 cars on the grid for the Rolex 24 at Daytona. Now, another big storyline to keep an eye on here, Tom, is the fact that one car in DPI, the 5 car, the Mustang Sampling Cadillac, did not turn a lap in qualifying. They are going to have a long way to haul.
Yeah, well, and they got 24 hours to figure it out. That's basically the deal. I want to get to a question here while we got a minute or two left from the chat. Luke Akers asking, how do you guys feel about the new FZ09s for Legends and the new stock package, or new shock package rather, for Bandoleros?
Well, I know the motor he's discussing is the water-cooled engine that actually we were talking about a couple weeks ago on this show with Joe Valento. I'm a fan of it personally. I think that's going to be a good competition equalizer all the way around, and they've proven it can be very competitive, and over the long haul, it looks like is going to bring some of the costs down on the Legends side.
Well,
so that's
I think
going to be
cost over time is what
cost
they're going
over time,
for.
exactly.
It's more expensive to buy in some ways, but they're looking at a cost over time. But my view on this is I think it can be great, but it's only going to be as good as two things: reliability and tech. If they tech it properly and if the motor is reliable, then I think it's a great move. So, obviously it's very new there in the new shock package for the Bandos. For me, it's about time.
I don't know very much about the new shock package, so you might have to help out there.
Well, I mean, without getting into a lot of detail about it, the Bandos have always been a car that's basically half suspended. Not anymore. So, now it's like a different situation because, all of a sudden you're driving a bit of a different race car, and I think the feel that you're going to get out of that's going to be different. So I want to give both of those issues a little bit of the season to see how they're going to go, but I'm very if this were Bulls and Bears, I'm very bullish on both of them. In other words, I'm very optimistic and in favor of both of them right now.
I got you.
Yeah.
So really quickly, we got about 3 minutes left here. Couple quick thoughts on, and I know you actually got to take this in on Wednesday, the new sponsorship package and strategy that JTG Doherty had announced at the Hall of Fame. And you were explaining this to me earlier and made it make a whole lot more sense than their press release did.
So real quickly, here's what they're doing. Instead of the traditional, sponsor A buys 8 races, sponsor B buys 6 races, whatever. What they're doing is they're taking all of the Procter & Gamble companies that are involved in that deal, and they're actually using the 37 car of Chris Buescher, and they're going to do seasons. So, for example, when it's summertime in July and August and everybody's grilling, they're going to do a grilling paint scheme, and all of the brands that have to do with outdoor grilling and outdoor backyard barbecues will be on the car then. When we go back to school and you have that 2-month period where you're thinking about that, then all the brands that apply to back to school are going to be on the car. So
that's actually really smart. Why didn't they come up with that sooner?
It's genius. There's about 5 different paint outs for the 37 or maybe 6 this year, and they are just amazing schemes. Yeah, the companies are really behind this, and they're going to do a whole social media push. They're going to do some texting, and you can win some things.
I was going to say, I think they've got a whole mobile program that Tad Geschecter was really high on.
Yeah, so it was great to go experience that, and it's going to be fun to look at the 37. Of course, Ryan Priest's 47 will be the Kroger car with all the appropriate branding on that one through the year.
Click Save Win or whatever their 3-word program is there. I'm now going to have
list.
No, it's not Click List anymore.
It's I think it is Click Save Win. I'm pretty sure. But
Click Save Win. I'll look it up during the break and make sure that I got it right, and if I didn't, we'll correct it before we go away. But
it's going to be fun.
That was cool to see.
A lot of optimism out of that camp for this year too. Hendrick Power now, and some other things, and with Ryan Priest coming in with a new package, I think they're going to be very competitive.
Speaking of Ryan Priest, can I make Allie's day?
Yes. No, actually, I know what you're going to say.
He still gets to race
modifieds.
Yes.
He's going to run as many modifieds as he possibly can. That is amazing. I saw his Twitter and his Facebook.
He's got the car down here now. He's going to have it down here.
Him and his wife Heather actually recently moved down here.
Yep.
So. Yes, they did. So with that, we are going to take our final commercial break. When we come back, we're going to toss a checkered flag out and get this show on the road. Race Chaser Radio's Motorsports Madness, powered by My Computer Career, wraps up when we come back.
Here's an important message from RAD and this station.
Hi, this is Bob Sheehan from Blues Traveler for RAD, recording artists against drunk driving. I like to party just as much as the next guy, maybe even more. But the one thing I won't do after I've had a few is get in the car and drive. Don't blow it. Always choose a designated driver. Remember, music lives, and so should you.
Motorsports sales professionals. Performance Motorsports is looking to build a team of experienced media sales professionals to represent our programming to the industry's top companies, magazines, and racing series. If you have motorsports sales or marketing experience, know how to work with agencies, understand social media, and are incredibly creative when it comes to working with clients and promotions, then we want to hear from you. Top performers are richly rewarded. Your imagination is the only limit here. Call 717-749-0444. That's 717-749-0444, or email us at scorpionradiogroup@gmail.com. You want to ask for Sue.
You are a waste. A loser. Everyone hates you. Why don't you just stay in your car and keep driving? I'm serious. Drive until you run out of gas, then get out of your car and walk until you find someone who doesn't think you're dumber than bricks. Could take a while, but at least all that walking might burn a couple of calories.
You may not witness bullying like this every day. Your kids do. They want to help, but they don't know how. Visit stopbullying.gov to learn safe, simple ways your child can help stop bullying. Be more than a bystander at stopbullying.gov. A message from the Ad Council.
You own a performance car and you know how to drive, but you want to learn real performance driving. Well, Bunky, get that car off the street and onto the track. Summit Point Motorsports Park, the Mid-Atlantic's premier road racing facility, located just over an hour from D.C. in nearby Summit Point, West Virginia, is the place to go. And you'll find that Friday at the track is going to give you what you need. For less than a monthly car payment, you can attend this regularly scheduled one-day instructional event in your street car on one of Summit Point's 3 world-class road racing circuits. You'll receive classroom instruction, skid pad instruction in their cars, including front and rear skid control, and 4 20-minute in-your-car instructional sessions from a professional instructor. Have fun, go fast, and really learn how to drive. Call 304-725-8444 for class schedules and details. That's 304-725-8444. Friday at the track at Summit Point Motorsports Park.
Hi, I'm Tyler Reddick, and you're listening to Race Talk on the Performance Motorsports Network.
Welcome back to Race Chaser Radio's Motorsports Madness, our final segment where we basically blow through like a tornado and then get out of here. So real quickly, Tom, before we go.
Rock you like a hurricane.
Yeah, something like that. Who wins the 24?
Wow. Continue. Who wins the 24? That's
Genuine
a great question. I really would like to see Wayne Taylor Racing win it.
Because Alonso?
Because Alonso.
I would like to see them win it for that aspect, but there's another Hollywood ending that I would love to see just as much. And for me, being a fan of IMSA sports car racing for a while now and watching his career really peak and now start to come to a close, I would love nothing more personally than to see the number 5 Action Express car, even though they didn't time in qualifying, to go to victory lane. Christian Fittipaldi, this is his last race. I would love to see Christian go out on top with another Rolex watch. He's won a few of them. Perhaps there's one more left in the tank.
Well, yeah, you know, that's the thing. I honestly would think that if obviously the time is now, but yeah. I don't know. I think very well. He's certainly got the motivation. Let's put it like that.
Yes, he does. And with that, we're going to get out of here. Thanks to My Computer Career and HMS Motorsport for what they do to make this show possible. And thanks to our special guests, Sam Mayer, Adam Lemke, and Rod Wortham tonight. For Ali Boulay, Tom Baker, and behind the scenes, Chris Murdoch and Randy Miller. I'm Jacob Steelman. Keep it off the wall, folks, and we'll see you at the racetrack. Have a safe racing weekend till we meet again.
You've been listening to Motorsports Madness with the Race Chaser Online crew. Stay tuned to Performance Motorsports Network for more race talk. For the latest motorsports news, visit racechaseronline.com. Motorsports Madness is a copyrighted production of the Performance Motorsports Network, www.performancemotorsportsnetwork.com. A member of the Scorpion Radio Group Incorporated, and may not be rebroadcast, replicated, or saved in any media without the explicit written permission of PMN. Check out our Facebook page or our section in the PMN website. The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host, co-hosts, and guests, and do not necessarily reflect those of the management and ownership of either the Performance Motorsports Network or Scorpion Radio Group Incorporated, the advertisers, or the marketing partners. Be listening again next week when the madness returns on Monday night at 7 Eastern. Until then, keep it off the wall and keep the shiny side up.